Hey guys, back at it with a 4-week update following my personal pec repair. If you're just following along, so about 4 years ago, I had a sternal head rupture. Didn't get it fixed originally for a multitude of reasons, but went ahead and ultimately got it fixed. And because I'm so far out, we couldn't do a primary repair. Had to come in and actually do an augmentation using a tender cadaver, and what they used was a semi-tendinosis, which is a hamstring graft. They weaved it through the muscle in order to create a new tendon, and then they sutured that tendon to the bone. So as you can imagine, the healing frame for that is going to be a little bit longer than just a primary rip from the bone, just sew it back on. So the first things I want to do is really go through what I've been doing for the past couple weeks. As you can see, I'm out of the sling. Now, I'm not actually supposed to be out of the sling. I'm just out of the sling because I'm doing a lot of computer work right now. It kind of becomes a nuisance wearing that all the time. If I do get up, if I go out, or I do anything like that, then of course I am wearing the sling, especially sleeping and such. But if I'm just sitting at the computer, I'm not doing any of that, I can actually, as you can see, I can kind of bring my hand out just ever so, like I can't bring it out. Like this is my right, thank God, this is what I'm using with the mouse. I can't really bring it out any further than this. That's about as far as I go. But it's nice because if I have a laptop, I can go ahead and I can type on that, which is great because I feel like you get a little bit more done. The biggest thing now is really playing the waiting game, right? I have to wait another couple weeks to be able to start making sure that the incision and most importantly the surgical site is healed enough that I can actually start fully starting PT and getting back that range of motion, that strength, that endurance, coordination, and everything else that, of course, we need for day-to-day life. So the first thing I want to talk about is what I've really been doing. Now, just because I'm 4 weeks out and I'm not cleared for like formal, moderate to aggressive PT, doesn't mean I'm not doing anything, okay? So I am a PT, so I'm actually doing a couple things. And first, I want to kind of go through like what I would say to one of my clients and patients is kind of the exact same thing that I'm doing. Now, I want to make a differentiation here. If you have a primary repair, you typically can be a little bit more aggressive than something that isn't that primary repair or tendinosis graft like mine. Reason being, you're looking at 2 sites of healing versus 1. Now, the site of healing where it actually connects to the bone, that's good to go. That's not the issue. Right now, the issue is the tendon actually having been weaved through the muscle and making sure that we get a little scar tissue so it's not pulling through and kind of just slicing through the muscle right now. So that's the biggest hurdle right now. So what would I tell me if I were my patient? Well, the first thing I would say is, well, we already have the framework. The framework is peace and love. So let's go through it again. Peace, so protect. So no matter where I am during this journey, I always want to protect the surgical site, right, and the surgical procedure. Now, yes, after 6 weeks, the surgical procedure is deemed safe enough that I can start moving. Does that mean we no longer have to worry about protecting it? No, really protect is going to be protect what you've accomplished so far so you do not hinder and do not go backwards. So let's say I get to a point that I'm able to safely bring my arm up here. Well, I still have to protect that. I don't want to force my arm into a position that I now disrupt the integrity and everything else, okay? So that's first, right? Protect, elevate. So I don't really need to elevate too much. I do have to elevate if I am still laying down in bed. It doesn't like getting that stretch back behind where it's dropping back behind me. That puts a lot of stress here on the front or the anterior structures, which is no bueno really. Avoid anti-inflammatories or any ice, so which is great. I've used 0 ice this entire time. I've used 0 anti-inflammatories. I didn't have any pain after about the first 6 days. I was able to get completely rid of all pain pills. Compressing, not really needing to do any of that anymore. And then just education, of course, having to educate myself all the time. Then I'm at this point of love, right? Which is load, optimism, vascularization, and general exercise. So I want to go through that. Now, peace really encompasses the first 72 hours, right? And then love is 72 hours and beyond. Now, I don't want you to think of it as kind of like peace and then love. It's like peace and then love starts, but then they're both kind of running in like a timeline fashion indefinitely. So how am I loading it? Well, there's many ways to load it, and kind of as I mentioned and alluded, I can't really do too much movement with it. Okay, but that's not the only way to load something, right? So there's multiple ways that we can load it, and one of the ways we can load it is actually by unloading it. Okay, and that's the first thing that I'm really doing right now, and it's one thing that if you're going through this is something that you'll be able to do, or you can have somebody help you do it for you. So one of the things that I'm doing is actually working on the surgical incision and making sure that soft tissue is moving. I'll give you a quick example actually before I take the shirt off. So kind of what it feels like if I were to move or do anything, it just feels so like tight, if you will. So it feels no different than, let's say I'm gonna like hold on this really tight, right? And the shirt is so tight that if I go to like lift my arm, it just feels like it's limiting me. Okay, nothing deep in the joint. The joint doesn't feel tight. It feels very superficial. Like I can't raise my arm any higher than this without like really forcing it. But if I let go, I have that freedom. That's kind of what it feels like. So the first thing I need to do is kind of loosen up, kind of think of it like the shirt, if you will, right? I'm gonna loosen up the skin and all the layers underneath to try and allow that to keep moving a little bit. So that's number one. Number two, is the thing you really want to pay attention to at this stage is the scar and making sure that that heals well. Okay, so one of the most detrimental things to a scar is actually the sunlight, so I want to make sure you are protecting it. I am using some silicone scar gel. I can link to it. It's just something I found on Amazon. It was a couple bucks. It wasn't anything crazy, but it's 100% silicone. Just rub a little bit on through the incision, and then after that, I'll show you what I kind of do for some of that scar massage. So I'll show you the scar a little bit. So the scar here, it's looking really good. Right, so you can see here, as far as like to touch, it's kind of numb still for me. I feel everything else. That little pore hole they did back here, I mean, it's almost barely recognizable. Where it's raised up a little bit, you can see in here, and you can see in the incision, it's just raised up ever so slightly. But overall, I mean, it's feeling pretty good. You know, like I said, it just feels really, really tight. So again, all I do is grab this, is just a couple little dabs on there, okay? And then I just kind of roll, you know, go through it like this. The first couple days, it was actually more tender. Now you kind of get used to it, and you kind of want to toughen it up. So after I do that for a little bit, it gets really tender. Actually, most of it is down here, like as you can imagine, where like kind of where the biceps is, that is like the most tender. And then even here where the pec kind of comes in, where you can imagine that incision is here. I try to do a little bit of like soft tissue here, just rubbing in here like this, try to loosen everything up. And then the next thing you want to do is, one way of loading is bending a muscle, right? Or bending tissue. If you imagine like this is the line, you want to push beyond it and bend, right? And you're going to bend both ways, and that's going to allow it to kind of loosen up a little bit, and that's one way of loading it. What's happening is the fibers on this side, when I push this way, those are getting stretched, and vice versa, they're getting stretched when I push this way. So that's the first thing I do. I'm going to come a little bit closer so you can see. So if I'm here, I kind of just pull in like that, and I push, okay? And you're just pushing against it, and you can see just ever so slightly a bend. So if you're like, oh wow, it's not really bending that much. Yeah, you don't say. So it doesn't move a whole lot, especially in the beginning. What's really cool though, at this point, I've gotten 4 or 5 little like, okay, those sensations and such, and that sound, those are adhesions. I want to talk briefly about adhesions for a minute, because a lot of times people think, you go see a physio or you go see a soft tissue therapist, a myofascial therapist, massage therapist, any of them, right? That they're breaking up adhesions. You can't break up adhesions manually for something that's chronic. So if something's chronic, that's going to be 6 months. By the time that adhesion really becomes solidified and scars down, you're not going to be able to do it. Okay, you can loosen some things up, but you're not going to truly be able to break it up. They have to do that under blunt dissection in an operating room. They really like open things up. This, however, is only about 4 weeks. I absolutely can kind of break those little adhesions as they're building and start opening those up a little bit. So if you do get those, and if you're 4 weeks out, like myself, and you feel that, and you're like, holy crap, and you feel that sensation or here, you're not ripping the surgical site down or anything. It's just the soft tissue under the skin that's kind of just breaking up a little bit. Essentially, I just do this. I usually try to do this 2, 3, 4 times a day. It gets to a point that kind of feels stiff. You just kind of want to loosen up a little bit. So that's like the main thing I'm doing. Outside of that, I have actually started doing a couple exercises. My beautiful wife, she's a physical therapist as well, so she's actually helped me out do a little bit of passive range. And when I say a little bit, I mean very, very little bit. One of the things that we're working on now is getting to neutral, which is where I'm able to bring my arm out here. I can't actively do it, so she's helping me do that. And then number 2, I do have pulleys that I come up and I'm using a little bit, only going to about 45, 60 degrees or so. Just getting that little bit of motion and such there. Some exercises you might see commonly online are like pendulums. I have no need to do any pendulums. I don't really have any pain. And if anything, even bending over, I don't really care for that feeling, because I'm already getting so much atrophy from the cuff. The head of the humerus here feels like it's already like pulling away. I don't want to like give it any other reason to want to pull away further. And that's just one thing I'm doing. Outside of that, I've been able to start adding in some like bicep curls. And when I say bicep curls, I actually started with just the weight of my arm, and then I'll have to start with like 2 pounds and then 5. I think 5 pounds is about the most I've done so far. I've added a little bit of like light pull downs with a band, just like that, and just doing nice and slow. Right now, the biggest focus is far more getting that blood flow in. So if you remember love, L-O-V-E, O is staying optimistic. Right now, I'm trying to stay as optimistic as I can. You know, I'm kind of reaching that point where I'm kind of eager and frustrated and ready to like move on to the next stage, but the best thing I can do is just stay on the path. So I'm trying to like remind myself of that. And then V is vascularization, and that's really why I want to stay with higher reps. I want to make sure I'm doing higher reps. That way, I'm getting a lot of blood flow. Blood flow is where the healing properties are. So that's kind of what I've been doing. As far as what I'm going to do for the next couple weeks, I am walking around a little bit of the house without my sling on, but most of the time I find myself just naturally holding it up at my side, just feeling a little bit more comfortable. It just feels more secure. I'm not going out in public or anything without it, and that's one of the things I'm going to maintain to do. And then as far as the next big step for me is getting rid of the sling. A lot of times I find docs want to just have you get rid of it at week 6 or week 4 with no real wean off period, and I like to have people wean off throughout a week. So I'll do actually another video, because I know this one's getting long, how exactly to wean off a sling to make sure you're doing it correctly and one of the things that you want to do. But overall, I'm excited, moving along, getting those stages back, and I'm ready to continue rehab and keep you guys updated.